the second drawing from activity 1.2.5, sketches, extrusions, and revolutions. Oh my. So the first thing you want to do is you have your picture right here, very similar to yours. What we're going to do is we're going to save it. We're going to open up our window here. Make sure we're in the engineering design project, 1.2.5 extrusions. Excellent. So now we're just going to hit save, and we're going to save this activity as 1.2.5 B, and then your last name. Very simple. Bang. All right, so now we're ready to go. I'm going to start by just creating my new component. Component 1 is fine. Doesn't matter what you call it. So now I'm ready to go. And I have to start by, I'm going to start by making a base. I could use a revolution here if I want. I just want to go back to the basics. We're going to create a sketch from the top. We're going to click down here. All right, and now when I create my sketch, I'm just going to create a circle. Right here it says the diameter of the circle is 1.25 or 1 1/4. So I click the origin and go 1.25, which is 1 1/4, and I hit enter. All right, now this one happens to be in inches, which I'm already in. Some of you may be in millimeters. If so, switch over to inches. Okay, I know it bounces back and forth with what it's in. This one and the next activity are both inches. So I got a 1.25 diameter. If you want to make it look like theirs, you can always drag it out. Doesn't really matter. I hit finish sketch, and I hit the home button. Now, along with this, I'm building from the bottom up, so this says there's a 1/2 inch extrusion. So I click on that. I click my 1/2 inch extrusion, and it goes up 0.5. So now I have my base. Next thing I want to do is I want to make a rectangular piece right here. How do I know how big that rectangular piece is? Well, I know it's in the center of the circle down here. I also know that it is the center of these circles that are going to be cut through. This says 0.25 through type, so that means they're getting cut through, are 1/4 of an inch from the edge. So if this is 1/4 inch from this side, it's also 1/4 inch from this side, meaning the whole width has to be 1/4 and 1/4, which is 1/2. And because this is a square, that means that, you can see it's a square right here, it's going to be 1/2 by 1/2. So I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to click on the top piece, and once again I'm going to create a rectangle from a center rectangle. I'm going to click on my origin, and I just said it's going to be 0.5, tab 0.5. I look at my picture and I go, okay, that does look right. So I believe I'm right. And once again, it's 0.25, 0.25. That's my 0.5 right here. All right. Finish sketch, and my rectangle should be on top. Now, how tall is my rectangle? Well, this one you're going to have to do some math. This whole thing is 2.5 high, and we have to take away this piece and this piece. So 2.5 minus 1/2 is 2, right? And then 2 minus 1/4 is 1 3/4, or an extrusion of 1.75. All right. Enter. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to put this top on. So we're going to create another sketch, and we're going to create it on top of the rectangle. Obviously creating a circle, a center diameter circle, and as you can see here, the circles overlap each other. They're the same size. Place the center point. So this one also has a diameter of 1.25 or 1 1/4. And as you can see when you look here, you can't even see it. But when I finish my sketch and I go to home, I can see the circle hovering up here. And that's what we're going to extrude. We're going to extrude the last little bit, which happens to be 0.25 or 1/4 inch. So here's the key. If I click on this and I extrude this 0.25, look what happens. I'm left with this. I forgot to extrude the middle piece. So what you're going to really do is you're going to click on the circle and the rectangle, which is also a square, so the whole thing is blue. Now I'm going to extrude them both at the same time, and I'm going to extrude them both 0.25. And now you have your figure. Now you can't even see where the square is because they're joined together. So now I have my basic figure. The only thing missing is these circles with the holes in them. So what I notice is the first circle is a 1/2 inch from the base, which is a 1/2 inch from the second one, and that one's a 1/2 inch from the top one. They each have a 1/4 inch diameter, and they're also a through type. So you can make holes here, or something easier than hole is, just to create a sketch. So I'm going to create a sketch on the front, and by the front, I mean the front of this piece. So now I'm clicked right onto this rectangle. I need to create 3 circles. Now the circle should be on this green line. Now that is my center line, meaning it's going to be in the center of the rectangle. And they're each 0.25 inch diameter. So I'm going to create one. I'm just going to move up a little bit, make sure I have my center point on this green line, 0.25. All right, I'm going to create one more. I'm doing them all at the same time on that green line, 0.25. And it doesn't matter necessarily where you put them, because now that we have them there, we're going to use our dimension tool, our sketch dimension tool right there, to make sure that the center is 0.5 away. So I go center to the bottom, I slide this over, and it's 0.5, and that's going to lock my circle into place. Center of the circle, right there, that's about 0.5. Lock it into place. Center of circle. Notice this one was a little bit off. 0.5, lock it into place. Now when we finish this, you notice, well, this is a different distance from the height, but so is this. But we got it all exactly 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. This right here happens to be 0.5. So we have this perfectly done. I hit finish sketch. Now when you hit finish sketch and I hit home, notice the circles should be on this rectangle. If they're not on this rectangle and they're like inside of it, you have to do it over and make sure you use that rectangle as your sketch plane. The last thing to do is to cut these holes. So I'm going to click on each hole. Don't click the center, click the outside. And when you click the outside, hold the command button. That way you can do more than one at a time. I'm going to hit the extrude button. And now when I hit the extrude button, I don't want to pull it this way. Or I don't want to go, what's it, about 0.5? Because look what happens. It looks like kind of like a snowman. I want to go the other way, negative 0.5. That way it cuts straight through. Remember, the red means to cut. And when it cuts through, what's going to happen is, if I look over here, it's going to cut a hole right through it. Okay? Another way to do this is you can actually just take this and drag it through. If you go a little bit too far, that's fine, because you're not running into anything. So now I got my piece that's all cut open. I hit my home view. I drag it by over here. You might want to just take your front and give it a little bit better of an edge, just so I could see that there is a through hole there. Line it up next to your name, Command-Shift-4, and then give me a nice little screenshot of your figure. Congratulations, you just completed drawing 2.5B. We're about to modify this one for the next one, so take a breath and get ready.